everyone, welcome back to my channel. What would you say is the most important thing about reading? Books, obviously. There are many ways that you can find book recommendations. You can find them online, you can just go to your library and browse until you find something, you can ask a friend. The only problem I see is that the majority of recommendations that I have been receiving in the last maybe year or so have been newer releases, and I would say books that are released maybe in the past year. So I need a more fun and creative way to get my book recs and try to cut down on new releases, because there is a whole array of books that have been released in the last decade or even 20 years that I have to read. I found a really fun and creative challenge on my Bookstagram account, which, by the way, I'm gonna leave my handle down in the description below. If you don't know what Bookstagram is, it's literally books plus Instagram. So it's an Instagram account that people create and they share bookish pictures and recommendations. If you want to find out more about Bookstagram and why I even created one, I'm gonna insert a video card here somewhere, so go check that out. It was the beginning of the year and people began posting on their stories this 12 challenge, and I was seeing many people using it. After seeing so many people post about this 12 challenge, I was really curious to see what it was about. I had found that there's a Bookstagrammer by the handle shoutout who created this 12 challenge. And the purpose of this challenge is 12 books recommended by 12 friends in the span of 12 months. And I thought, why not? That's such a fun way to get book recs. With this challenge, I decided to do a small little twist at the end where I'm gonna take all of these 12 books and I'm going to rate them from best to least best. But right now, I'm going to predict what those books are based on the synopsis alone. Now let's move on to the 12 books that I will be reading, recommended by 12 friends in the span of 12 months. However, it is already summer, but I do have half a year and I will be fitting these 12 books in for the remainder of the year. The first book we have is called Magic Bites, which was published in 2007. This book sounds pretty intense. Long story short, magic emerges, and we have these mages that decide to summon evil monsters, paranormal creatures, while at the same time, technology decides to fail. Guns don't fire, cars don't run, so people are left helpless. All of a sudden, we have a switch. Technology turns on, but magic starts to recede. But now the problem is, we have these monsters roaming the streets. I wonder if there's some kind of correlation there between the technology and the magic, where technology is on, magic's off, and vice versa, and maybe there's like a little connection there, I don't know. But I am looking forward to reading this. And I also want to mention that this is actually a series, and this is book 1 of the Kate Daniels series. The second book that we have is called The Queen of the Tearling, which is also the first book in a series, and it was published in 2014. We have magic, adventure, mystery, and romance all in one epic book. You have a young princess who needs to reclaim her dead mother's throne. She needs to learn how to become a ruler. Oh, and to defeat a malevolent and powerful sorceress who is called the Red Queen. Seems like a casual afternoon if you ask me. In reality, I have actually seen this book many times in the library, and I don't remember why I didn't pick it up. Maybe because I was walking around with like a stack of 10 books and I was like, okay, I'll get it next time. But overall, I feel like this is gonna be one of the higher rated books that I read during this challenge. But again, we'll see at the end of the video what my rating is. The third book that we have is called Tiger's Curse, and it's also the first book in a series, and it was published in 2011. And by the way, I'm absolutely obsessed with the cover. The stunning tiger, the blues, the white, it's beautiful. Imagine this, you're young, it's summer, you're on your summer break, and you find yourself halfway across the world helping a person who has a 300-year-old Indian curse put on them, and oh, they're also like a mysterious white tiger. Well, that's exactly what happens to the main character of the book, Kelsey, who spends her whole entire summer helping this person break this curse. That definitely sounds more eventful than any summer break I had. The fourth book that we have is called The Reincarnation Blues, and this was published in 2017. I can't express how much I love the synopsis that I had found online through Goodreads. Let me just tell you what it says. A magically inspiring tale of a man who is reincarnated through many lifetimes so that he can be with his one true love, death herself. I think just by that paragraph alone, I know I'm going to enjoy this book. This fifth book is called The Rose Code, and it was published in 2021, and it's slightly different than my other books because it's a historical romance book. For those who don't know, I really enjoy, right after fantasy, I really love historical fiction and romance. And if it's historical romance, it's like the cherry on top. So let's set the scene. It's the 1940s. England is preparing to fight the Nazis. You have three very different women who are called to help with their brilliant minds. They are trained to break German military codes. Fast forward, it's 1947, we're in post-war Britain, and we have a royal wedding of Princess Elizabeth and Prince Philip. During this union, we're gonna have three individuals who are friends turned enemy, who are reunited together by an encrypted letter. This letter is the key to finding out what was behind the betrayal that broke them up. Let me tell you how exciting this sounds. We're gonna be in two slightly different time periods, 7 years apart. We have three women who are brilliant-minded, who are best friends. Something happened in between, and now they're reunited at this royal wedding. They hate each other, they're enemies, but they find this letter that might resolve what happened between them. If you tell me right now that it was a man, I'm gonna be so upset. Like, come on, ladies, don't let a man get in between your friendships, please. The sixth book that we have is called Save Me, which was published in 2018, and it's also the first book of a series. However, I did find out that this was initially published in German and later translated into English. This book is actually a contemporary romance, and from what I understood, we have a character who is basically surrounded by a lot of like spoiled, bratty, rich kids, and she just wants to go unnoticed, do her work, study hard, and get into Oxford. However, the same can't be said by a handsome, arrogant, spoiled James. It's always a guy named James, I swear. But nothing seems impossible to him. He has everyone wrapped around his finger, the headmaster, all of the other kids in school. But I have a feeling he's gonna have quite the challenge with our little female protagonist. We are diving into the seventh book called The Kingdom, which was published in 2019. When I first heard about this book, I was like, oh my God, it's like a nightmare come to life. Let me explain. The genre of this book is science fiction, and very obviously so because we are dealing with robots. Do I think in the future we might be overrun by AI and robots? I don't know. But let's just say The Kingdom is a sci-fi-esque Disney theme park thing on steroids. So again, it's basically a whole theme park, like Adventure Kingdom thing. And we have like virtual dragons, we have these like bioengineered species of, characters, creatures. But one thing caught my eye, 2 words specifically, is that these like bioengineered species were formerly extinct. But now they roam free in this like kingdom where people visit and see them. What can go wrong? This book is all about robots, romance, murder, robot princesses. That's gonna be a fun one to read. Let's tone things down a little bit with book number 8. And this is called Flowers from the Storm. This was actually released back in 2003, and it's a historical romance. We have the Duke. Brilliant, dangerous, everyone loves him, right? Then we have this young girl, Maddie, who's shy, young, sweet. Honestly, it's like a match made in heaven. But from what I understand, she might have a slight crush on this Duke, of course, with his devilishly handsome charms. However, it's not a quick burn romance because all of a sudden, the Duke is just lost to the world. He's disappeared, he's gone, and no one knows why. So our young and shy Maddie decides that it's her fate It's her destiny to go and figure out what happened to the Duke and maybe even find him. We are still in the realm of historical fiction with book number 9, and this is called The Great Alone, which was published in 2018. The setting takes place in Alaska in 1974. We have a family that's going through some financial hardship, so they decide to go and move to Alaska. However, they move into this really isolated community of fierce men and even fiercer women, but it's in this small corner of Alaska, and it's in the wilds basically. We get to see how this family, who are on the brink of survival because they don't have any resources, they didn't bring anything with them, and this community helps them rebuild their life. This family has a lack of preparations and dwindling resources, and we're gonna see if they can survive this. Reeling back slightly into the more romantic side of things, we have The Heart Principle. This book is actually quite popular on the internet, and it's the 3rd book of a series. Even though it's the 3rd book of a series, which by the way was published in 2021, I heard that it could be read as a standalone. I believe that there is some callback to the other 2 books, but you can read this alone. Basically, we have a violinist who has a YouTube channel, and she just goes viral. She blows up. She's incredibly successful. She's having fun. However, we tend to see people in this entertainment industry burn out quite easily. And that's exactly what happens with this character. She gets burned out, and now she's trying to get back on that path, that productive path, to try and get her career in her YouTube channel back up again. However, let's put a little cherry on top and say that her boyfriend announces that he wants an open relationship before making a final commitment with her. So what does that translate to? She's going to embark on a series of one-night stands. The more unacceptable the man, the better. That's literally what it says. The more unacceptable the man, the better. I feel you, sister, but oh my God. I'm contemplating whether or not to read this first because this sounds wild, or to go back and read the 1st and 2nd book. But I think I'm going to just skip them for now and read this one. This is also kind of a small homage to my high school days, because I actually was in a symphonic orchestra group for a couple of years, and I played the violin. So I was like, ooh, a violinist. Ooh, I started my YouTube channel. No, I will not be playing violin for you guys, and believe me, you should be thankful because your ears will be bleeding. All right, let's go back to the realm of fantasy with book number 11, and that's House on the Cerulean Sea. This book was published in 2020, and I swear from the first day it was published, I've been hearing all good things about this book from day one. Did I say day one twice? I am being redundant because I am serious. I have heard only good things, and I've heard good things about it quite often. I am incredibly thankful that somebody recommended this book for me to read, because I've been putting it off since I heard it for the very first time and everybody was raving about it. I'm really glad, because I do want to read this book. However, what I do like about it as well is that you are on this magical island, and there's deep secrets, dark secrets that are there, but it does revolve a lot around family. However, in the synopsis, when I read it, there was one little snippet there that I'm wondering about, and basically it's talking about how the main character, or whatever the book, is going to find an unlikely family in an unexpected place, and that family is yours. So does that mean, we have this group of people who are so different from each other, but they become your family, or it's some kind of literal dark secret that involves the mystery of who your family really is, and you find out your real family? I'm curious to see that. We are wrapping up this 12 challenge with book number 12, and that is Kingdom of the Wicked. This is automatically going to be in my number 1 prediction list as best book, because it is in my favorite genre, and I've had this on my TBR for quite a while now. I've heard incredible things, and my friend who recommended me this book did emphasize the level of spice in this book, which, I'm not gonna lie, we do require it. From what I understand, we have 2 sisters. There's a murder that happens, and when you have murder, you have vengeance. We use dark magic here to summon one of the wicked, who are basically like the princes of hell. So we are literally unleashing hell itself, and of course, an intoxicating romance. So with these 12 books that 12 friends have recommended me to read for 12 months, which in reality is gonna be 6-ish months because it's already so late into the year, but regardless, I am going to list my predictions right now in order from best to least best. And again, everything that I've been mentioning in this video so far has led me to these predictions about best to least best. So on this list, we have Kingdom of the Wicked, House in the Cerulean Sea, Magic Bites, Queen of the Tearling, Tiger's Curse, The Rose Code, The Heart Principle, The Kingdom, Reincarnation Blues, Flowers from the Storm, The Great Alone, and Save Me. And that concludes our 12 books read in 12 months recommended by 12 friends. It is not too late to start this challenge. If you guys want, I will be leaving my Instagram handle down below. You can send me a DM if you guys want a copy of that template, or you can go directly to Shadow Booker's account and you can find her templates there. And don't forget to leave a comment down below and tell me what challenges you guys are currently in or challenges you guys want to participate in. Thanks for joining me in my small corner of bookish paradise.